All right, on the bench today, out of a 2018 Dodge Durango, with a 3.6, we have 121,000 miles on the car. We have the 8-speed four-wheel drive transmission 850RE. So this, I really never drove this, but I know the manager drove it and the thing was slipping real bad on takeoff. It was doing, I think, a few other crazy things, like the car couldn't even get out of its own way. It was real bad. It came from a wholesale account. So the thing is, with this particular car, an engine was put in the car probably 3 weeks ago, maybe, yeah, probably 3-4 weeks ago. And then this started. Really has nothing to do with it, but they brought it, the gas station brought it here, and we checked it out, we scanned it. It did have a bunch of codes, you know, that pointed to internal issues. And we checked the fluid level was full, was dark, so, you know, we suggested a transmission really needed to be done, and being the fact that an engine was put in the car, they agreed to do the trans. So we got it here on the bench, we're gonna open it up. I did have the pan down, and again, the fluid is very dark, it's black, and there's a lot of gray metal floating around in there, so something's going on inside the transmission. I also have a valve body / computer on order for this. I don't think I can really get those solenoids separately, so the price of the valve body is not that bad. It's brand new, and I'll just get my programmer here to program it when it's done. So this thing will be 100% when it's rebuilt. So we're really going to open it up. You know, the only one written down here, we did a code scan, but we had a P0731 gear error in first, and I believe this thing was slipping real bad on the pull-away, and again, it was full of fluid. So what we're going to do is we'll take the back off here. I took most of the bolts out except for 2 just to make it go a little quicker. We'll knock the rear seal out. Sometimes there may be a snap ring behind there that we got to get out, so the whole gear train can slide out. And then we're going to drop the pan, take the valve body off, and take the his pump out, because this does have start-stop. All right, so let me get a little closer and we'll get started on this teardown. All right, so let's get this little extension housing here. We need a little extension here for the socket. 15 millimeter. Okay, now we want to get this seal out. It's very possible there is a snap ring behind that, along with the shim that we're going to have to get out. So let's get this seal out. Yeah, there's the snap ring. Okay, so this is probably in park, so we're going to move the lever. I can turn this, get it up here. Okay, so the snap ring is there. So let's get that snap ring out. All right, there also is a shim. All right, let me get, sorry, a little magnet here. Okay. Okay, so here's the shim. All right, now, here is the fill and check plug, which I'm going to take out. Yeah, when I get this done, I'm going to go back with Lifeguard 8. The other alternative, you know, if you wanted to, you can use the Mopar 8 9-speed fluid. That's very expensive. Lifeguard 8 is pretty much the same thing. This is like this is the same pan as a ZF8HP 70. So 8-speed, the fluid, the Lifeguard 8 will work fine. All right, so let's get this pan down. See how dark that fluid is? It's pretty black, a lot of metal in it. All right, that is going to be a T40. Only got 2 in there. Okay, got a lot of gray metal and stuff in this fluid. Probably something possibly happened to the converter. I do have one coming. I gave them the code on the converter. All right, so this up like this. All right, so let me just switch angles. Let me get more on top. Oh, you know what I want to do first? Let's spin it this way. We're going to get these bolts out. Okay, first we're going to get the O-ring out for the lockup torque converter. Okay, here's the O-ring. Alright, let's get the bolts out now. Those are torque 50. And these are torque to yield, so technically it's a one-time use. Let me just come around this side. Okay. All right, so now what I want to do is just want to get more on top of the trans so we can pull that valve body off together. And I'll show you how I get the pump out. And then we'll pull the whole gear train will come out at once, then we can take everything apart. Let me just reposition. All right, so we're going to start by taking the his pump out, the hydraulic impulse storage, and this is for the stop-stop, keeps the clutch packs charged. All right, so let's unplug that. All right, we got 3 bolts holding that down. Okay, this will come right out. That, the cylinder. All right, now we're going to get the output speed sensor. Okay, and we're going to pull the output speed sensor up. Okay, there's that bolt. And we got a few more bolts here. All right, so now we're going to lift up the tab, and we're going to get the pass-through connector out here. Okay, there's that. Now we can get the rest of the torque 40 bolts out and lift the valve body out. Alright, there's one. No, there's a few more left. Let me just get rid of these here. It looks like we've got about 3 left. Okay, this is it. Alright, so now we're just going to lift the valve body out. Get out of the transfer tubes into the case there. Okay, lift this out as one. There is your TCM. Okay. All right. All right, so what I want to do here, I want to take, because this thing is going to be stuck in park, and I want to be able to just to pull everything out with no problem. So I'm going to take this plate off with these, should be torque 27. Just make sure, yep. Okay. Okay, if everything spins free, I can kind of just leave it just like that. It's fine. All right. Now, we got to get this pump out. All right, so we want to pry over here. Don't really want to pry where it's machined, you know, where the two hairs meet. So here is fine. Give it a pry, pop right out. Okay, here's the A clutch. Here is the B return spring. No molded piston there, like the earlier ones had it. All right, let's get the hub out and the B clutch. Okay. All right, they each have a little wavy in between to keep them spread apart. Okay, and here is the wave. Of course, the pressure plate goes in first because the piston. Let me back out now. The pressure plate goes in first because the piston is here. Okay, so let's get the last one. Let's get the wavy out. And let's get the pressure plate out. All right, so let's go get all these goodies out of the way. Okay, so we got a bearing race here. All right, so I'm just going to kind of pull the whole thing out in one shot. There we go. Okay. Just make sure good here. Okay. All right, so pretty much the case now is stripped. Okay. All right, so let me get set up. I'm going to break this piece down, and you need, of course, the special tools for this so you don't ruin the cylinders. Give me a few minutes. Let me set this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to take this apart. We need our special tool, our ring, to protect the cylinder. Okay, so the opening of the snap ring is here, and they want you to get the snap ring out 180 degrees from where the opening is. And of course there's some locks and stuff in there, so you just got to kind of take a look on how the snap ring is oriented so it goes back in properly. So let's see if we can pop this thing out. Okay, there we go. There's your snap ring. Take this off. We got no damage to the drum. All right, so we're going to pull, this is our P1 planet. Then we have our P1, P2 sun gear. Our P2 planet, and this is going to come out with the shaft. Okay, and you want to be extremely careful with this. This segmented magnetic ring reads the sensor, and you want to be extremely, extremely careful. So I'm just going to lay that up there so it doesn't even touch the bench. All right, so here is ring gear and P3 sun gear on the back. Okay, now we're going to lift this out. Okay, so this here, we got to remove this park gear to get the D drum out. Okay. So we got a couple of these tabs we got to bend up. We got to spin this ring, pull the ring off, and pull the gear off. All right, so let me get a little screwdriver here, and we can bend those tabs up. See if I can get in here. This one up. Let's see, we got another one here. And just started. Can't get the screwdriver in there. Bring that up. One more. Okay. Bring that up. Then we're going to turn this ring. And we're going to pull this ring off like this, and then we're going to pull the park gear off. Okay, like that. There we go. Okay, put this like this, put it aside. Now, the cylinder is good. Ring gear in there, and here is your D clutch drum. Okay, so we'll put this aside for now. Put this aside for now. This thing's real beat up. Wow, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna see if I can get one. This is really beat up where that rides. The D clutches. Okay, here's a bearing that was there. So now we need our protective. There we go, and really the same thing. Let's see if we can get this thing started. Okay. No damage to the drum. I'm going to take the planet out. Now we're going to have the C and the E clutch in the cylinder. Okay. So this here, this thing is really beat up. I don't like this at all. That's some of them are cut almost all the way through, so this has got to get changed. 100%. I'm hoping I can find something there. All right, so we've got a couple of snap rings holding this ring gear in. So let's get the first one out. There's one on the top, one on the bottom. They're both the same. Okay. Take the ring gear out. There is another snap ring, same thing. Okay. Here is a clutch drum. Okay, this is one. Here is the other. Bearing here. Okay, and this shell is empty now. So we got a two. All right, you know what? Give me 1 second. Somebody is here. I will be right back. Okay, so we got the C drum and the E drum, and I wanted to show you something on the E drum. Check out the splines. There's none. The drum is stripped. The splines are stripped. So we got to get a drum, And we got to get this cylinder. This thing's really, really, you know, for this unit is in really bad shape. Okay, so what I want to do now, so we have a molded piston for the C, regular lip seals for the E. I like to open these up so we can just look at the clutch plates. All right, so what I'm going to do is take each one over to the foot press. I'm going to just put you guys on hold again. And I'm going to take both of these over to the press and take both of these snap rings out so we can kind of look at this. And then we'll take a look at the A. You can pull the piece off the pump here, and you know, off the stator. We can look at the pump, and we'll check the D clutches and finish it up. All right. So give me a few. I'll be right back. Okay. So let's take a look at the E. Here is the snap ring. Here is the piston, and then we have a balance piston in here. Okay, just like the other one, we got a lip seal, no molded piston on this one. Then we have our wavy. Okay, let's take a look here. All right, clutches aren't too bad. Here's our Belleville return. All right, so clutches aren't too bad. The drum, of course, is stripped. They do make, actually, like the company Sonics makes one. I don't know if it's maybe performance or hardened splines or something like that. But it's this is bad. Okay. I'm gonna put this on. Put this back over here. And, okay, so now the C. Here's the snap ring. Balance piston. Molded piston, which comes in, you know, the piston kit. You get two pistons, this one and the one for the D clutch. All right, so this will come out here, like that, and you got O-rings on the inside and O-rings on the outside. Your Belleville return spring, and these clutches, again, not too bad, but we do have some problem here with these other stripped drums and beaten up drums. Okay, this will go here. This will go here. Alright, so we'll do that. This is the C drum. Okay, let's take a look at the D. Clutches. Even the teeth. These teeth are no good on here. From banging in that aluminum cylinder. I should be able to get one. Alright, these clutches aren't burnt, but the teeth are bad. But I should be able to get one of those. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Alright. Here we have the turn springs for the B. Here is the piston for the B. Alright, lip seals, I'll just leave that on there for now. Now the A. A is usually pretty good. Just got to push down a little bit. Probably has those spring, like that other clutch had, like the B clutch had. Out. Yeah, it does. Has those little individual ones here. Okay. All right, now not too bad. Got to be very careful there. All right, this will come off. All right, so the bottom wave and the bottom steel. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to bring this over to the foot press, and I want to get the split ring out, to take the piston out, to take the bolts out, to split this so we can see the little pump in here. And then after that, I think that's pretty much about it. Things really torn down. And what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to pop this cap off to get this snap ring out, which will, the shaft will come out, and so I could put this planet in a safe place. Just leave it there for now. All right, so let me just do that, and we'll be able to just finish this up. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the split ring out. All right, so what I do is I have this like a steel plate that fits perfect in there. I push it down with the foot press, and I use my magnet, and I pull the split rings out. All right, so here is the Belleville return. Here is the piston. Now we got some bolts down there, torque 40. Okay, let's get those out. Okay, there's the bolts here. Okay, here's the cover. And we'll be changing this pump O-ring, this front seal, as a bearing. All right, now let's flip this. Here's our off-axis chain-driven pump. So this will stay on here. So what we can do is we're going to lift this pump up because it's on a couple of O-rings. Here is, have a ring, O-ring on here. Here is the chain, and here is your little tiny high volume pump with a couple of O-rings on it. Okay, that's really about it for this. So we did find some problems, you know, along with what I consider a lot of metal in the pan. And this valve body here. Okay, here is the TCM with the speed sensors and everything. All right, so this is coming brand new from the dealer. All right, and this transfer tube can come out. Okay. All right, so tomorrow I'll be on the look out for the E-drum and the cylinder, the little cylinder that the D-clutch hub is. And that's it. So I'll call tomorrow and just tell them we got some hard part damage, and I'll be looking for those. So we got an 18 Dodge Durango 3.6 850 RE. Gear ratio code slipping on a pull away. Found a lot of metal in the pan. I am having the converter, another converter redone. I think also something was going on with the converter, and we found, you know, the cylinder had some, is grooved out, that's no good, but the drum being stripped is a big problem. That we'll have to get another drum. So, definitely needs it, 100%. And the bad thing is, probably, like I said, about 3 to 4 weeks ago, an engine was put in the car. But it's really nothing that they did, as you can see. You know, the first thing we did was check the fluid. I asked him, did you check the fluid? He said he did. And I says, well, bring it here, let us double check everything, scan it, drive it, and we'll let you know what it needs. And sure enough, it was full, and had some codes for internal problems. So I got my banner kit, I got my piston kit, I got the pan/filter coming, the valve body's coming, and I just got to locate some hard parts. So that's it. So I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next one.